So the next video in the series is another impact of globalization, which is international cooperation. And it's a really interesting topic from a business and global geopolitical perspective, because I guess from the point of view of the course, I guess the examiner and SCARSA would probably want us to say that international cooperation has increased, which it has undoubtedly over the last 50 years. But with the current geopolitical climate, with everything that's happening with the United States, China, Russia, Ukraine, Israel, Palestine, we are at a real turning point, and business, I guess, needs to be aware of that. Never before in most of your lifetimes will you have seen less cooperation between countries. But anyway, let's see what has happened as a result of globalization again over the last, certainly 30 to 50 years. Again, our modern world is connected in so many ways, and thanks to globalization and the increase in trade and the increase in connection between peoples, governments undoubtedly have also connected further to enable a better life for everyone, to enable increased trade, increased standard of living, economic growth. It's all thanks to globalization, as is the movement of people across national boundaries, which no doubt has also increased significantly in the last 50 years. I guess when explaining this, the way I used to try and explain it was when we're talking about cooperation, we talk about it from a government level, really at the top, because it's a lot of those government actions in cooperating together which enable businesses and people to take advantage of that and further, link each other and communicate and do business. So governments' cooperation is multifaceted with both bilateral, regional and global networks enabling greater connection. So Australia has numerous free trade agreements, which is a separate point in the course we'll get to soon enough. One of those is also in the course. It is a free trade agreement and a strong association with the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN, which includes most countries in Southeast Asia, including Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, Brunei, Indonesia, as just to name a few. Oh, and Singapore, can't forget Singapore. And Malaysia, of course. Many countries, like Australia, also, questionably, for better or worse, hopefully for better. And you can question the strength of our involvement, but we are signatories to many United Nations agreements, and we are, of course, a member of the World Trade Organization, and these global organizations do attempt to change the world. Very slowly, you might argue, but it's the best thing we have. So thanks to those government agreements, free trade agreements, cooperation between governments and or regional blocs, it allows business to flourish in new locations around the world, taking advantage of larger consumer bases and doing all the things that business does well. Including that, businesses increasingly have a range of strategic alliances with other businesses in new markets for a range of reasons. It could be on the customer side to sell new products. It could be as a production facility. There's again a separate point in the course, but thanks to globalization, there has been a significant rise in global strategic alliances. And we've talked about this point many times, but again, thanks to the work of governments in cooperating together, individuals now have an opportunity to work wherever they want. You as a young person can work in over 40 countries. As a young person, Australia has agreements with over 40 countries for you to have like a working holiday maker. So get onto it. Question did not come up since 2021. So again, you might lock this one away for reference for October as a possible one that could come up again. And this is a little bit different. It's a 4-mark question, quite a difficult one. I would argue that 4 wasn't given out many times by the markers in marking this question because it's analyze. So looking at the model answer and the word analyze, so you've really got to identify the relationship between the components. So what's the relationship between international cooperation and as an impact of globalization? okay, and then draw out and relate implications. Okay, so that's hard to do, and that's why it is deliberately 4 marks. Okay, there's a bit extra that needs to be in here from either what you know or from your something that you've been taught in class, just to get that extra mark. And just a way to break it down, so I've used actually the SCSA definition of the keyword here, and you can see generally in the model answer it's broken into 2 parts. So arguably it's that second part in green there with a bit of analysis. For example, that last sentence. So one of the implications of international cooperation is the freedom of movement internationally for people, to particularly skilled labour, to seek a better life in all manner of countries. Anyway, another way there that you could potentially, when thinking about scaffolding or how to write your answer, really, really important to go back to those keywords and verbs from SCSA and understand what they mean and what is expected for you to qualify for full marks for each question. Hope that one helps. Thanks.